Didn't mean for all of that to show. Hello, 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 everybody. I am Stacey Thomas. On a Sunday, God has blessed us with a brand new day. No matter what's going on, we got to be thankful. Um, I go by unrestricted, unlimited, and it simply means don't put me in a box nor put my guests in a box. We have yet to see what God has for us. I'm super excited. Aleia Kristene, welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me. Thank you.
Sweetheart,
It's
we've
been
been
a long
trying.
time coming. Yes.
Yeah, we've been trying to do this a while, and I am so thankful finally to have you on the show. And I figured, even though I don't normally do Sundays,
Mm-hmm.
but when you get special people that God have blessed you with, and people
Oh.
have special stories, you
Mhm.
do what you got to do, and you bring it on a Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, any day, right?
Absolutely. Thank you. Thank you
So,
for making time.
sweetheart, listen, and I've got to control my laughter sometimes with people that I'm really comfortable with. 4 years ago, I think it was about 4 years ago, I connected with you on Facebook. You have grown so much. I remember connecting with you and then seeing some of the things you were posting on Facebook. And at that young age, I just could not imagine what exactly is this young lady gonna really do when she grow up.
Right.
Because I didn't know you when you were 5 or 6,
Right.
but just when you were getting ready to go to college, obviously, just from talking to you and watching you on Facebook, you can tell when there's people on this earth that got things to do.
Right.
And you're doing it, right?
Yes. Absolutely. Absolutely.
Congratulations
Yeah.
on your book,
Thank you.
Lost and Found.
Yes, ma'am.
I it's so much I want to know, Aleia.
Mm-hmm.
First of all, do you mind telling us how old you are?
I'm 25.
So
25
old,
young.
old, how young you are.
Yeah.
25, 25.
Exactly.
So Lost and Found, how it's getting ready to be released, right?
Yes. Yeah.
Is it,
I dropped the pre-order link this past Wednesday, so I'll be shipping books out within the next 2 weeks.
okay?
Yeah.
And we have, let's see. Okay, so there we go. So it's your first book,
Mm-hmm.
and Lost and Found. That seems very personal,
Very. Yes, ma'am.
very personal. Can you tell us a little bit about it?
Well, like you said, lost and found is very, very personal. It actually came to me. Um, the idea came to me in the end of June. Starting the beginning of 2020, I had started reading a lot of books. Like all of a sudden, like I don't know. I've always been a reader, but this year I was like, I want to see how many books I can read. So, just a side note, I've read like 26 books so far this year. Like I order new books like every week or whatever. But I don't know. I feel like, reading is just very, very important. Stimulating your mind, So I read every single day or whatever. So that's how I've been able to read so many books. But like I said, the idea came to me the end of June. I've always been passionate about telling my story and just being transparent. And that's what Lost and Found is, it's just definitely about my journey. I talk about everything from, you know, childhood to my, adolescent years, teenage years, college years, like, and how everything around me that was going on with my family, how that ultimately like affected, me as a person. I mean, because you got to think like, I was dealing with all of these losses and all this death was around me, but I was still, I was going through, puberty. I was dealing with relationships. I was trying to, figure out things like sexuality, like all of that. So it was a lot to understand. And, eventually I had to, um, I kind of feel like I had no choice but to eventually, figure something out and find my purpose. Or I feel like I would have drowned, if that makes sense. Like, because it was so much, to deal with and to understand at a young age. So, um, eventually, like I said, that led me to my purpose and led me to ultimately just wanting to truly have a relationship with God. Um, And I feel like that's something that a person has to want to do on their own. And I talk about that in the book. I also talk about religion. I have a whole chapter about religion. But I don't want to get too much into,
Right.
everything in the book because I need people to go read it. But yeah, so it's definitely personal. But I pray and I hope that my journey just inspires people and makes them understand that they're not alone and that everything happens for a reason. So.
And at 25, when I shared your picture and I shared the book, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I was talking to somebody, and I was talking to a friend of mine, and I said, you can't judge a book by its cover.
Mm-hmm.
You see the title of the book, and you see this young lady,
Mm-hmm.
and some people would say, what does she know about?
Yeah.
What does she know about losing something?
Right. I would imagine. Yeah.
How big of a story can a 25-year-old have to tell? You have a huge story. When you said it started with loss
Mm-hmm.
and finding your purpose,
Mm-hmm.
what do you mean by loss?
What I mean, so that's what a lot of people when they saw the cover, I don't spell it like LOST. So I
Right.
like actually losing a person, and that's what that is. I've lost 5 family members to ALS, so that's what the loss is for me. Like having to succumb all those losses and figure out who I am, why am I here? It's a lot to take in, especially when I was brought into a very close knit family. Like I've always been as a child, I was always surrounded by a close knit family. Like all birthdays, holidays, family events were all spent together. So now like my family is just very small. It's very different. But I cherish those things and I hold on to those memories. So
Aleia,
yeah.
and I'm not going to stay on this long, but that's how we connected because of ALS.
Mm-hmm.
For somebody like me, it's kind of hard listening. No, at one time I would not have been able to like handle what you said. I've lost 5 family members to ALS.
Mm-hmm.
Here I've lost one,
Mm-hmm.
and my world isn't the same, but you're steadily grinding.
Right.
Losing that many people at such a young age.
Mm-hmm.
What did your mother who 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 instilled this strength in you? What was said, Aleia? Because you're smiling,
Mm-hmm.
you're writing things.
Yeah, I have to smile in order to not cry. So yeah, I smile a lot.
Do you worry?
Oh yeah, yeah, I have. Yeah, I have.
Really?
Anxiety, all that stuff. That's why I have to keep doing stuff. Yeah,
Because
but I definitely worry, and it's not good. But it's. I wouldn't say it's normal for me, but I mean it's kind of like with everything life has thrown at me, it's kind of normal to worry. You know what I'm saying? So. But that's why it's important to seek things like counseling and therapy and stuff like that. So, which
yeah.
I've done before. Yeah.
And I'm glad you said something about the ALS because we have a lot of African Americans that, first of all, they don't know about the disease. But then when they hear about the disease, because of the way it's advertised, also, they don't believe that African Americans get ALS disease.
Right. Yeah, I've heard.
They don't believe it. So I want people not only to follow you for all the things that you're doing, I want people to pay attention to what you have to say.
Mm-hmm.
You have an article, you put articles, there are articles out there by you about ALS disease, right?
Right.
And what would they do? Just Google your name?
Yeah, you can Google Aleia Kristene, or I think some of the articles have it under my government name, Aleia Asby. But yeah.
Okay, okay.
The one, yeah.
So the screenwriting,
Mm-hmm.
when did that come about?
So I started. I started writing scripts when I was 9, and ever since I was very young, even prior to me being 9, or prior to me writing scripts, I always enjoyed entertaining people. I was a big movie buff. I was big on like hood movies and black movies. Seriously, when I was like 3 and 4, like Friday and Color Purple and Boys in the Hood, I just thought I knew like what was going on, and I
Okay.
did to a certain extent. But
Okay.
that's always been me. Like I preferred like real movies over cartoons. Like ask my mom. Like that's just always been me.
And
So
reading about you, obviously, I know it's a gift. Doesn't take you long to produce a short film, does it? When you're
no,
writing a script,
no.
where's it coming from?
You said where did it come from?
Yeah, people say, where are you getting your stories?
Mm-hmm.
How do you write so fast? Where's it coming from?
Experiences or things that I've heard from other people. That's how a lot of people who've read my scripts, they tell me I'm really good at dialogue. That's like my thing because I listen to people, so it's
Okay.
not hard for me to do that. But yeah, I started writing when I was 9, and I put that hobby. I thought it was just a hobby, and I didn't foresee like me doing that as a career, because I don't think as a kid I knew of many black screenwriters or thought that it was possible to do that. So I just thought it was something that I enjoyed, and so I put it to the side because my mom being a nurse and things like that, she kind of instilled in my head like a career in the medical field would be like more um, how would you say it, like realistic, or
Mm-hmm.
and
Mm-hmm.
it's always a job in that field. So um, ever since like middle school, I was like, oh, I'm gonna be a pharmacist, or I'm gonna be a physical therapist. Like I went through all the little the little medical field ideas, but um, it wasn't until I lost my aunt Sherry in 2014, at the end of 2014, and then right after that, I started going to grief counseling. That's why I say my losses led me back to my purpose, because it really helped me rediscover, like, Aleia, like you always enjoyed doing that stuff as a kid. And so, my first project was writing our story into a script. And ever since then, it was like I couldn't stop. You know what I mean? Like I was like, this is what I love to do. And the fact that my family's, my journey and my family story led me back to it. This is what I'm meant to do. Like no matter how long it takes and any of that, like I'm gonna stay at it. So
I like that. I like that. And people don't realize that sometimes when we go through things and hard things and sad things, it's during that time we really find, like you said, your purpose. Losing my mother got me doing, I'm doing things I never thought I would do. You know what I mean? Because you realize that you have to live. You have to, whatever it is that God has for you to do, you have to do it.
right.
So you've been doing some interesting things. So you interviewed with Nancy O'Dell.
Yes. Yes.
Okay, tell us about that.
So that was pretty cool. The MDA reached out to me about a month ago, and we talked about the book. We talked about briefly, Four Voices Unheard, which is the script I wrote about my family, and just how I was led to write that script. So it was pretty good. It was a good exposure. Yeah.
So the Four Voices Unheard.
hmm
What's going on with that?
trying to trying to figure it out, trying to get producers interested in it. I recently got a literary manager, which is going to help me a lot.
Okay.
He's pretty plugged in Hollywood. So I mean, right now we're focusing on another one of my scripts, but I feel like one of them of course has to come first, and then that's going to help me get the other one out. But don't worry, like that one's definitely gonna happen. That's my baby. That one's important. So yeah.
Oh, where does you're out here networking,
hmm
and without disclosing where you're going and where you've been,
hmm
but when I saw that you were moving around, or when I saw that you were leaving one place and going to another,
hmm
bold, Aleia,
Yeah.
bold. Um, It's the purpose that drives you.
Yes,
It's your purpose that drives you.
absolutely.
Are
Absolutely.
are you ever shy? Are you one of those people, Aleia? I
I'm
think I
shy.
already know. You're shy,
Yeah.
Aleia. A shy person can't make the connections they make or get the things done that
I'm
you can
shy, but
do.
I'm bold. Like I'm straightforward, if that makes sense. Like I know what I want, and you know, but
What does no mean anything to you out
no,
here?
no,
No.
no. That you have to. I'm gonna say in the beginning a little bit, but I've become so numb to it. Um, I talk about that in my book. In one of the chapters, I talk about having to accept no and know that no is a part of the journey. Like you're gonna hear so many, and I actually get excited because I know I'm like that much closer to that one yes.
Really?
Yeah. So like, if you tell me no, like I've had plenty people, um, tell me no or whatever, and I'm like, but I know they're gonna see me eventually, so it doesn't it
That's
doesn't faze me. Like everything's still coming into fruition, and it's all good. So
all good. So to follow you, what social media platforms are you on, Aaliyah?
I want everything, just about Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, LinkedIn.
Is it all Aleia Kristene?
Yes.
It's all Aleia Kristene.
Yeah.
Okay. So, and the book you said they can pre-order. We have that on here. Is
Yeah.
there any other contact information you need to give, or what do you want people to know, Aleia?
Um. Definitely, support the book. I'm excited. The main reason I'm excited about it is like I said, is I feel like it's gonna help a lot of people. Also, I was grateful to have Queen Latifah's bodyguard do the forward, um, which is
See,
really,
we just out here networking. Go ahead.
yeah, which is really really cool, a blessing. I actually, I'll tell you a little bit about him. So I actually reached out to him via Facebook in 2016. I believe it was,
Okay.
before I even moved to Atlanta, before I even graduated college, before I even met her. And somehow I've been a huge fan of Queen Latifah since like very very little. Like I can tell you stories about me reading her book in the third grade. I wrote a rap about her in the third grade. Like it's not nothing new, Anybody that so um somehow I found out who her bodyguard was. I don't remember how.
In
And
2016.
hmm,
In
yeah,
2016. Okay.
so I found him on Facebook, and me just being so just extra. Like I DM'd him and added him, and I didn't think he was gonna add me back, and then I definitely didn't think he was gonna message me back.
Okay.
Because he's her bodyguard,
Okay.
And me being a fan. But he was like really, really humble and nice. And he was like, I told him at the time I was just really trying to promote Four Voices Unheard. And I was trying to get it to her, is what I was trying to do. And so I was telling him about that, and we kind of make a connection. He told me he had a childhood friend, a black guy who he either had or had ALS. He may have passed since then. I think he did pass since then, but he had a childhood friend who had ALS, so we had a connection in that aspect. And then from there, like he was just always really um, nice, and he would always write me back when I would ask him different things. Like I said, I was still in college, just trying to shoot my shot. I asked him, could I pitch something to her? He was like, yeah, we'll figure it out and all this stuff. And then I ended up meeting her before I met him, and
Wow.
he's been like, I finally met him, but he's been like really supportive of my journey. Both of them have been very supportive every time I run into her. Like she's so sweet and always encourages me and always checks on me. And when I finished the book, I was talking to my mom about it, and I was like, I wonder, who could do it forward. Because usually the person who does the forward, like, I wouldn't say they have clout, but like they, they have like a little rep,
Okay.
It'll look
I
good on the
know.
front. It'll look good on the front cover, So I was like, dang, I'm trying to think who I could do, who I could ask. I know a couple people, but she was like, She was like, you know, you definitely should ask Keith. And I thought that was so perfect because me and him actually had a phone conversation last June. I was still in Atlanta right before I went to LA. And I was talking to him because I had just lost my aunt Shell. This was the fifth person I lost to ALS. So I was venting to him on the phone, like just saying how, you know, stressed I was and things like that. And he actually told me to write a book.
Okay.
And I brushed it off and I was like, no, I don't want to do that. And a whole year later, I did it, and he was perfect, you know, because he told me to do it, and he knows a little bit about my journey, so that was exciting.
Some great things are happening, Aleia.
Definitely.
Great things. I'm so proud of you.
You.
Excuse me.
Mm-hmm.
You're just so interesting. You know, you're just so interesting, and I go back to like you're inspiring to me. 5 people.
Mm-hmm.
And now, because of these people, you're speaking up for these people. You're telling their story. Keep doing what you're doing.
Mm-hmm.
And you already know that God has you in the palm of his hand. You already know that because look at how things are happening and what you have to say, we need to hear it.
Right.
We need to hear it.
Absolutely.
Is there anything else, sweetheart, that you want to say before we end?
Nope. Go pre-order the book.
Yeah. Okay.
Signing all books. So go.
Okay. So let's put the book up for a minute and then we're going to come back in. Let's see. Oh, it's right there in between us.
Yeah.
Lost and Found. Hair looks good, Aleia.
Thank you.
Nice cover. www.AleiaKristene.com. Please support. Please follow Kristene, Aleia Kristene. Pre-orders now for Lost and Found. Never judge a book by its cover. She's a young lady with a powerful story. If you or your family or friends have never heard of ALS, still read the book.
Right.
Get the book. It'll help you in ways to deal with different things other than just ALS, right, Aleia?
Absolutely.
Absolutely. Okay, beautiful. Now, as you grow, I'm going to be watching. If you ever have anything you want to say, Aleia, this is always open to you.
Yes,
This
ma'am.
is always open to you. I'm very proud of you, and I'm wishing you the very best, okay?
Thank you so much.
And for everybody watching, thank you for watching. Please support Aleia Kristene. And remember, don't stress too much about yesterday or worry too much about tomorrow. Because if you guys do, we're going to miss living today. I am Stacey Thomas, and this is Aleia Kristene. Have a great day. Thank